Welcome to the 15th episode of the Broken Pictures podcast / YouTube show, where we discuss the top 5 things that you might have missed in pop culture this week. And there could potentially be spoilers for your favorite TV shows, movies, comics, and or video games. You have been warned. And this is
the FOMO Show.
Hey guys, this is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
And we're here for the FOMO Show, of course. We appreciate you tuning in. We'd like to say thanks for joining us by YouTube or podcast. And hello to all of our new watchers.
You did that again.
Yeah, all of our new watchers and or listeners, as in the States or internationally, wherever you're listening. A special thank you to those who are returning. And if you want to keep the conversation going or support the show, you can do that by commenting below. We appreciate any support we might get. And you can find all that info in the episode notes and or the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. And please don't write no.com. Anyways. Also, you can send us a message through our podcast provider, Anchor. You can download the app, or you can go to the website at www.anchor.fm/the FOMO Show. And YouTube viewers, don't forget you can subscribe to our channel, and if you hit the little bell, you can get notifications for when we do a new video.
Bells are just bad today.
It's the new bells. Okay. So if you're a podcast listener, please rate our show 5 stars and subscribe to it on your podcast provider. We'd appreciate that. Thank you very much. All right. So, special notes. I went to my first Comic-Con this past weekend, and it was amazing. Quinn, have you ever been to a Comic-Con? I feel like it's a big, strong yes, but...
Yes, this has been a very, very, very long time.
Oh, wow. I went to the Planet Comic-Con in Kansas City, and there was a bunch of people there. William Shatner, 2 of the living Supermen. One I've met. I almost met the other one.
2 characters from Princess Bride.
Yeah, well, actually 3. And then there was Tara Strong, who does several voices, was there.
Tara Strong is so cool.
Yeah, there's look her up on Twitter. She tagged Planet Comic Con, but she did a couple videos where she was like, this mom had a son who was deaf, who was a big fan of Harley Quinn. And,
that she does the voice of.
Yeah, she does the voice of. And she put his hand on her throat and did Harley Quinn, and you could just see him light up as he's like, for the first time and stuff. It was really cool. And then there was this other kid that did like an impeccable Joker. And she was like, "Hey, Mr. J, I found a new Mr. J." And he's like, "All right, Harley." It was pretty good. It was amazing. Like, I thought that they just superimposed Mark Hamill over him. Like, that's how good he was.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, got some cool stuff. I got to meet the creator of Deadpool and got his signature. It was pretty cool. And, of course, it was a big weekend for Batman, so I had to get me a new Batman shirt. I've been pushing to play Batman. That was not my nipple.
I definitely thought that's what you were doing. I'm not even going to lie. I thought that's what you were doing. I was like, oh.
It's not rubbing my nipples in public, but now I'm talking about it. Anyway, I've been pushing to play Batman on several. I hadn't talked about it in a long time because I felt like I was talking about it too much. They still haven't announced who's playing Batman, so maybe they're talking about it. I don't know. But anyways, I didn't have a Batman shirt, so I thought I should wear the Batman shirt on the show. So, boom! There's your new Batman, hopefully. Not really, but anyways. Yeah, Detective Comics 1000. This is a variant cover signed by the artist.
Which that's a big deal.
Yeah, pretty cool. I'm excited about that.
Never lose that.
This guy was hilarious.
Was he?
Yes.
I have a feeling he would be.
Going on and on with different stories. He was obviously the creator of Deadpool. But, yeah. I mean, he didn't draw Deadpool, give him his look, but he wrote, like, the core of who Deadpool is.
Who he is.
And some of the main story arcs. And he also wrote a lot of the story arcs with Cable. He created Shatterstar, X-Force. It was just really cool to meet him. A lot of the, like, Age of Apocalypse, big story arcs in the 90s with the X-Men and stuff like that. He did all that.
Oh, cool.
Really cool, really cool.
Side note, I guess. Did I tell you who Aaron Kuder was when I met him? Aaron Kuder. He's a comic book artist. He's only been doing it not for too long, since 2010. But all of the New 52 Action comics, he was the illustrator for all of those, for all the Superman comics. Yeah.
I almost got to meet Steve McNiven, who did the Civil War comic, but he wasn't there when I was there.
It happens.
But I want to say Dave Bagley, he was across the way from Fabian, who created Deadpool, and he's worked with him. He's a penciler.
Cool. Yeah. It's always really fun to meet artists and characters, because you kind of get, especially if they create the character, you get to see like, oh, okay, this makes sense. Yeah. Which it was interesting because I've never been to one, and I didn't know that going in, like, to meet these famous people, you have to pay like a fee to meet them and get their signature and take a picture.
On top of your ticket fee.
Yeah, which is weird, and that was kind of disappointing. But it's a industry standard, I guess.
Yeah.
But
unless you catch them outside while they're eating.
Yeah. Because you always see these things posted. It's like, oh, I met so-and-so at Comic-Con, and different dancing with them and hanging out with them and stuff. And they're taking selfies with them. Like, that stuff costs like $50 a pop. It's insane. I saw Henry Winkler plays the Fonz. He was there.
That's cool.
We didn't get his picture, obviously, because, my brother was like, somebody was like, and he put his phone down.
Not only does Henry Winkler play the Fonz, but he also plays Dr. Saperstein in Parks and Rec.
Yes.
Anne and Chris's doctor, and Leslie and Ben's doctor. So, very funny.
And the father of the worst two.
The worst. Yeah. John Ralphio and Mona Lisa Saperstein.
Yeah.
Wow. It's his name, John Ralphio, but okay. That just now like hit me, and I just didn't ask questions before apparently. But yeah, and he's also an author.
Yeah, children's book. Yeah. He's dyslexic, and he never thought he could write anything like that. That's a really cool story. Look it up. But yeah, he was one of the biggest stars there, but he was actually one of the cheapest people to meet and take pictures with, and he was interacting with the crowd,
which to me just speaks really to cool. Who Henry Winkler is as a person.
Yeah, like William Shatner wasn't there. I think he was taking like the big behind the scenes type photos with people, so I didn't get to see him. And then like Carrie Ells, who plays the pirate Wesley, from The Princess Bride. His little area I'm not sure exactly why, but it was like behind a curtain when nobody else's was. I don't know if that's like a thing with him or if it was just like, I don't know.
He's a vampire, maybe?
I don't know. But everybody else, like we got to see Prince Humperdinck was there, Chris Sarandon, and then I forget his name. Wallace is his last name. Was the Sicilian.
Are you sure it's not his first name? Because it's Wallace Shawn.
Wallace Shawn. I know
who plays Vicini.
Yeah. Who's done like every character.
Inconceivable.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that guy. He talks like I get you.
Yeah. He's great. But moving on, I don't have any special notes.
Okay. No birthdays or nothing like that.
Not that I can really remember. There probably was a birthday that I'm missing.
Nothing on our calendar. So, what are you guys watching?
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I might spoil some stuff and telling what I missed. I mean.
That's right. So yeah, spoiler alert. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. We will be treading into spoiler territory boldly and unashamedly. So you've been warned. So. What are you guys watching this week? What are you into? Let us know in the comments below. And, send us a message on Anchor. Let us know what you're into. So,
if you have caught up on season 2 of the OA, please tell me what you think. I'm trying to make time for it. I've not started it again. We watched season 1. I loved it. Dylan thought it was super weird.
I'm laughing at Quinn over there doing this little jig. if you get bored,
my voice is a song.
I'm sorry. If you ever get bored of like any of us talking, just watch Quinn's actions, and that'll be entertaining.
Which is probably why we still do it as a video. Because I know my yawning is not that entertaining.
I'm sorry. Go ahead with what you're saying. I didn't mean to distract. I was very.
I would love to know before I invest time into the OA the second season, because I live a busy life. So let me know if I should miss it or don't. I have a friend who watched the first. Sorry, I'm belching here. Watched the first season of the OA, but hasn't caught up yet. So I haven't had that many opinions. So let me know if you're watching it. What you think?
As far as I know, it takes place. It's like the same girl. But remember last episode. Last season, they were like doing the dance and they were crossing parallel universes or whatever. But this one, a couple of them are in it. Like from the trailer, a couple of them are in different parallel universes.
Yeah, because at the end, it was this school shooting, and they do the last scene, and that's the last scene that you see is... Sorry, we're super spoiling it.
I don't know what any of this is.
It's a super weird show. No, we talked about that earlier. Super, super weird. Yeah. So in the last scene, she gets shot, and you're like, is she dying? Or does she go to the parallel universe? And so you don't really know. So I'm interested to see it, but I haven't had time to do it. So maybe that's what I'll do today, is binging it. I also watched an episode. We'll get into the details of it later, but last week tonight, and just everything John Oliver is so amazing to me. He is just amazing. His delivery is great.
He's playing Zazu in the new live action.
Yes, I'm gonna laugh.
Is it Zazu or Zazu?
I don't know.
Zazu.
Thank you. I just was wanting him to admit he was wrong. I just popped my pop socket off. Awkward. I guess that's what it's for. I watched some more Parks and Rec. I think that's all that I really... Yeah, of course. I think that's all.
We watched Aquaman for Pizza Movie Night.
Yeah, because the kids hadn't seen it.
Yeah, which I gotta say, we watched it in the theater, and I was like, okay, this is cool. You know, this is a lot of fun, a huge spectacle. But the second time watching it at home, it was just so cringy.
So I have a dear friend.
It's like so hard to watch.
Darcy, that literally texted us we were leaving the theater, and she said, hey, we're going to the movie. Should I watch Aquaman or Mary Poppins? And we haven't seen Mary Poppins, but we had heard really bad things about it. And we had just watched Aquaman. So of course I was like, Aquaman. And the next time I see her, just be like, I'm so sorry. That I should never have recommended that. It was pretty terrible to sit through.
I mean, you could obviously tell that it was a horror director, because the horror scenes, the trench and all that were amazing.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing, is like it had some really great parts, but and it was like the story and the look of it, the CG. Spectacle or whatever, it's like it went hand in hand, because there were some really great points in the story, but there was some really crappy dialogue and points in the story that just...
Did you watch? Did you get to see it?
Yeah, I saw it. Okay.
I can't remember.
It's like it just didn't make sense. It jumped, like when they come back and they're in a different wardrobe, and it's like, you stopped the war to go change your clothes. I mean, and some of the things from the very beginning, it was like, okay, I get that it's a comic book movie and you've got to make like a leap of reality here, but at the same time, you're trying to make it like uber realistic and tie into events in the world and pollution and trash and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, I mean, there's a way to do it to make those things work together, but it's almost like they're at odds with each other, because it just didn't fit well. And then you got the CG, where the spectacle underwater was beautiful. It was gorgeous and colorful. It was amazing. But then you've got like the first 15 minutes of the movie looks like a video game, because like the characters, when they're making them look younger and everything, it was just horrible.
Soapbox.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're gonna start doing timers.
Yeah, soapboxes are going to be limited to like 30 seconds, and you only get like was it 3 per episode or something like that?
So we
so that's a new thing.
Yeah, because we get on rants and we can't handle ourselves. Something's wrong with us.
Okay. Well, I've been watching. What have I been watching? Wrestling, really. Yeah. It's because WrestleMania is Sunday.
Yeah.
But I'm torn because I want to go play Dungeons and Dragons, but at the same time I want to watch WrestleMania, and I can't.
Do you know, man?
Well, so it's going to be on the WWE Network. That's the only way to do it because we don't have cable and pay-per-views basically.
Oh, y'all sling, yeah.
Yeah. So
they're slingers.
So,
yeah, Daddy.
But Shay's like,
what?
No. That's like the
that.
same vein of like the stupidness that they're in.
Shay wants to watch the AMC. No, I don't know. Country Music Awards, CMA. There we go.
Anagram.
She wants to watch those, and so I asked her, "Do you want to wait to watch WrestleMania, and we watch it either later that night and stay up till 2, or we watch it Monday?" And because it's going to be 8 hours.
Yeah, it's a long thing.
From beginning to end is 8 hours.
WrestleMania?
But, yeah.
What?
Yeah, it's a day. Like,
That's
in the
a
past
job.
when I've watched it, I was like, make food for the day, have snacks, like, schedule breaks. Yeah.
It's an event. Yeah.
Wow.
And then by like 11 o'clock that night, I'm like, oh, that was great. I'm going to bed now.
And look for that Quin's Corner because you know he'll do an update on
Oh, it's going to piss me off, I'm sure. There's going to be at least 2 things.
So what did y'all
on social
decide? Are you going
media.
to watch it on Monday or Sunday?
We're going to watch it on Monday. Well, depending on what time I get home, we'll watch the last half of it or last whatever we can watch and then watch up to that point the next day. So, yeah.
Phew.
I don't think I watched anything else this week. The Walking Dead, of course, and you can catch our show, The Broken Dead. It was the season finale, big deal. So, season 9 is over.
Should you spell plug?
Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty.
All right.
Moving right along.
Moving on to the #1 movie of the week, and it is Dumbo, for whatever reason. It's the only one because everybody's saying Captain Marvel, so it's like, well, Dumbo can do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
and then not like there were mixed reviews about Us, so I think like people saw it and it was like some people loved it, some people hated it.
Well, it's been spring break recently, so I think a lot of people probably took their kids to see it. Like, it was a smart move to release Dumbo around this time because a lot of people are taking their kids to see stuff while they're out of school.
And it's a Disney movie, so it's a shoe in to be
Yeah.
#1.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, even though like this was like a potential on the list, so I'm just gonna touch it lightly. she marked the timer. So yeah, it's a Disney movie. It's another live action. The original Dumbo. I mean, there's some old classic fans for Dumbo, but it's got this racist history, so it's kind of mixed. But the new one, it's Tim Burton, and it looks really good. And usually Tim Burton movies don't just like blow out the box at the box office either. So it scored just a little under what they were expecting. I think they were expecting like 50 million in the box office, and they did like 45. So it was just a little bit off. But some people were asking, does that mean that we're getting live action fatigue?
Nobody wants to ugly her in public.
Yeah, because Dumbo is just the cutest thing. And those eyes that see into your soul. And also, so in the next 6 months, we've got Dumbo, we've got Aladdin, we've got The Lion King, just like back to back to back to back. And that's it.
Wow.
That's all the time I got for that.
Mm-hmm. It sure is. So now we're talking about what has been in theater. Two-Face.
Our
Two-Face
cat was visiting.
and then she ran off like a fat loaf. In theaters.
Yep. So in theaters, this thing is going to be showing up on your screen. So if you're watching, there you go. If you're listening, just hang out for a second.
I
can, but I won't.
Thanks. Yeah. Heard. Okay.
Alright, so. The number one thing for the top 5 things in pop culture this week is, since yesterday was April 2nd, yesterday was April 1st, which means it's April Fool's Day, which best April Fool's pranks.
Woo!
Did y'all do anything?
So, funny story. I get there and I'm in the office. I get to work. Sorry. I'm in the office and I'm like, man, I'm thinking about April Fools or whatever. And then my boss comes in and I'm like, yeah, this is going on. This is going on. I'm like, dang, I could have April Fool's him with all of these things. Like, I could have been like, oh my gosh, my wedding dress, something ruined it. Or, oh my gosh, we had to cancel our wedding. Like so many things because our wedding revolves around mostly what I talk about. Obviously, 26 days, duh. And so I had so much potential. And then this other guy comes into the office and he was like, we were talking about April Fools, and I was like, yeah, I could have done this and this. And he was like, well, now you're really giving away all your ideas, so you should just shut up. It's like 8 a.m. You still have plenty of time. Yeah. And so it was too late by that time. I was just like, okay, whatever.
So there was a couple, like on Twitter or whatever, like McDonald's did a pickle burger, but people are kind of upset because they want the pickle burger. And
why?
I don't know, because pickle people. Then they also did like the how you can get like the sauces, like milkshakes for your fries in dip sauces, but now people want that too.
No, what is wrong with you?
Have you dipped your fries in a milkshake?
That is literally the third most disgusting thing.
What?
Yeah.
What's the first two?
I thought the same thing, and then I tried it. It was really good.
I had to convert him. Yeah. It's like a weird Rice Krispie treat thing because it's crunchy and like kind of salty, but it's also sweet.
Oh man,
it's so good.
You know how like when you eat trail mix and it's the salty sweet, same type of thing.
Oh, it's so good. But you do have to have a good crunchy salty fry. It can't be no soggy floppy little thing.
Yeah. I don't want my fries moist.
But you eat them so fast that it's not like that. It's not like that at all.
Number 2 is accidentally drinking backwash.
Oh, you're not wrong. What's number 1?
Really, all of them have to involve wet food. Like something that was once dry, like wet eggs. I'm out. I quit. I'm out. Yeah.
I can agree with that.
Hard-boiled eggs that aren't all the way.
Like scrambled eggs, then like somebody's like, oh no, and it falls into like water in the sink or something.
You spill your milk on it.
Yeah, that's it. I can't.
I thought you were talking about like runny eggs.
Oh no, that's
gross.
Fine if it's meant to be that way.
So, yeah,
well, you're saying like when you cut into like a fried egg that the white didn't get done all the way, and it's like a runny white. That's gross too.
Yeah. When I was in junior high, that reminds me of the backwash thing. Like, for whatever reason, I had my hands full with my books or something, and I was eating some Skittles. I don't know why this stuck out in my head. I guess just like one of the things, like when you're in the middle of the night, you're just like, why did I do that stupid thing when I was 12? You know?
What keeps me up at night?
Yeah. So I had my Skittles open, and of course I didn't have, the extra hand, so I was like dumping them in my mouth. And of course, someone hit my lip and go back in or whatever. And one of my friends was like, oh, can I have some? And I was like, no, man, I'm like backwashing. He's like, you backwashing your Skittles? And I was like, I had a mouthful because I wasn't about to just explain it. And so he just walked away, and I felt like an idiot. I was like, no, I didn't spit in my Skittles, but do you want lip Skittles? Anyways.
Oh my gosh. I loved it's off your conscience. You can sleep at night now. I love the Pizza Hut April Fool's prank that they did, which was doggy delivery. So if you went to their app, you could pick a dog to deliver your pizza.
So cool.
And it was
get a pizza.
So it was just really funny and cute. Like they didn't change any of their actual meals or menu items to cause an uproar, but I would pay to have a dog deliver my pizza.
Yeah.
Like with a person. Yeah. I'm down.
Okay.
Yeah. Speaking of delivery, their Redbox said that they were going to start using drones to deliver their things.
As an April Fool's thing? Or?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Okay, thank you.
Which
I can't handle
I will be Ron Swanson in the final season of Parks and Rec.
Start smashing them with bats.
Yeah.
shooting them out of the sky.
And then Amazon did something else with that too. Right?
I don't know that it was an April Fool's prank, but it came out kind of around the same time where it was just like, it was an Amazon blimp, like a mothership type thing where drones were flying your packages out to your door. It was weird and everything from nightmares.
So terrible.
It makes me think of BioShock 3.
I can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, there were some really good ones out there, like Maisie Williams on the Jimmy Fallon show, and she even when she posted it on Instagram or not on Instagram on Twitter, she added Jimmy Kimmel, and so she was on Jimmy Kimmel. So I don't know if that was part of a joke or whatever, but it was really good. Like I knew it was an April Fool's joke going in because I saw her headline, but watching it, I was still like, "Oh, is it?" Because it was so well done.
Yeah.
Like, he played it off so well.
He did. She played it well because she's just like,
so go find that.
Mm-hmm.
So
my bad.
Maybe we'll feature it on our Twitter. Maybe one of us will retweet it.
Repost it.
Or maybe she wasn't lying and that was the truth. They just played it off. We'll see.
Yeah.
But, yeah. Anybody got anything else? Oh, I snuck up on people at work and
boo, April Fools.
Like the way I do it, like
it's more of a Halloween thing.
I use the crowds because I play Assassin's Creed way too much in my life. So I use the crowds, like kind of just blend in and like let them cover the sound of my footprints, and then like I go and like try to get my heartbeat to just slow down just a little bit so that no one is like even aware of my presence, and then I just go like, enter name here, and like they just like kind of jump.
There's this guy at work who, like, he just appears out of nowhere. He does not mean to do it. He is Chris Traeger sometimes where he's just like, hey! You're like,
Seinfeld, the Seinfeld.
I don't
Seidel's up next to you. Remember she gave him a box of Tic Tacs so she could hear where he was going? It's like...
That's so funny. Yeah, so that's really creepy. And I'm a jumpy person, so I'm really glad that you don't do that to me.
The number 2 thing, also, if you did some really good April Fools or if you saw anything else on the internet, yeah, comment below, let us know. Give us the links to those. That'd be great.
Please send us a video of you scaring someone for April Fools.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, you said you also watched a bunch of Ellen videos. She sent one to me that was...
Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, and it was the funniest thing on the planet. Yes. So Ellen has a game show called Game of Games, or something like that.
And she's always trying out new ideas on her shows.
Yeah, and so she took one of the games that she has there and took it over, essentially, and did it with Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell. And it was so funny. And I love Dax Shepard and Kristen Bell, and I also love their relationship. They're just so perfect. And it was hilarious. So I'll have to, if you ask me on social media, I'll just send it to you. But yeah, so I watched like 1,000 Ellen videos, and I was either crying from laughing or crying from crying, because some of them are just really sweet.
Yeah, because
Ellen. Yeah. All right, so number 2, moving on from Fool's Day to, I don't know, somebody
acting a fool.
Acting a fool. There we go. What's the name of the show? It's Last Week Tonight, right?
Yep.
Well, John Oliver, he went in on WWE and a lot of their practices and things, because he said himself, like right in the beginning of the video, he is a fan of wrestling, and like he was a fan of wrestling back in the day, currently, and it's just kind of messed up how WWE treats their wrestlers.
How Vince McMahon specifically treats wrestlers.
Oh, the McMahons of how they treat wrestlers, like on and off screen, has been notorious for years.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many stories.
There really is.
And everything.
I'm glad that it finally was brought to light, because it's such a thing that you hear in the news sometimes, like, oh, this person died, but people are finally starting to put it together that wrestlers don't live very long. They just don't have a long lifespan. And if you watch the John Oliver episode that he puts it on a graph for you, and it's like regular life expectancy, NFL life expectancy, and then wrestler life expectancy is way up here above the NFL in risk and death and things like that. And so it's a serious subject that really isn't talked about. It's not brought up, and it needs to be.
And it's like it's part of it's because like people's like, oh, that stuff's not real. That like they're fine. They're just fake hitting each other. And then 2 months later, oh, such and such was found dead in their hotel room.
And a lot of times it's due to prescription pill abuse, opioid abuse because of constant pain. And the fact that I lost it. It's gone forever.
Even if it is quote unquote fake and choreographed, jumping off a ladder onto the ground from the very top of the ring is still, I mean,
so
landing on a table
is not required to make healthcare, to provide healthcare.
Really?
Only for injuries that happen in the ring.
Yeah, he has them not qualified, but
they're hired.
They're independent contractors, so they're not full-time employees, so he does not have to...
So union laws, nothing applies to them.
Wow. Man,
but
dirty.
While they are independent contractors, they sign a contract that they are, what's it called? They can only work for him.
Yeah.
You know?
No compete.
Yeah, they have a no-compete clause, and then with certain wrestlers, depending on whatever name that they go under, unless it's like their actual legal name, they can never use that name again anywhere else they go.
Right.
Because they own that character.
Yeah, they own that character.
Yeah.
And then if they are released from their contract, they cannot work for 60 days. Like, they can't go to any independent ring, independent companies. They can't, like, just show up on somebody's show for, like, a one-off. They can't do anything except sit at home and...
wait for them to hire them again.
Yeah, and doodle.
And honestly, watch John Oliver's episode about it. He's got facts, citations, actual contracts pulled up, interviews with people, wrestlers, just a lot of details that go into it. And it was, it's brought to you by John Oliver in a parody style, and he insults the crap out of it while respecting it simultaneously. So it's actually enjoyable to watch. But it is really important. Yeah.
There's one more thing about it. Like, the one thing, though, that, like, is that he said that happens, that's like very true, and I wish it wasn't like that, because a lot of these guys, like, I enjoyed watching them and when they're working and everything, but I also know that a lot of them have families. Like, the majority of them are in their mid-30s, have a couple kids, but they're on the road majority of the year, so they're not going to spend time with their family, and they're like, the work-home life for wrestling is not very good at all. As well as they don't change things unless somebody is smooth looking down like the back of their neck, like, what are you gonna do about it? Like when Eddie Guerrero died and Chris Benoit died. You guys know about Chris Benoit? Lydia knows. Do you know? Okay. Like when those things happen.
I can tell the audience.
Oh, so Chris Benoit was a wrestler in about almost 10 years ago now. He had killed his wife and son, as well as committed suicide to himself. But when an autopsy was done, he had tons of concussions. Like, so many concussions, like, this guy, how he was even, like, really standing and functioning was an astonishment in and of itself, is why they have, like, you get 3 concussions, you're done type of thing. And that's one thing they changed. When Eddie Guerrero died from an overdose, they were like, we have our wellness policy that if you fail a drug test, you get suspended for 30 days. You fail a second one, you get suspended for 30 days, and you have to go to some sort of rehab. You fail a third one, that's it, you're gone.
But they don't pay for rehab. They don't pay for the drug test. They don't pay for you to actually go through any of those things, and they don't provide health care for you. So not only do you have to do those things, you're forced to pay for them out of pocket, and you might be able to qualify for some form of insurance, but not through the company that you work for, because technically you're an independent contractor, which is so wrong on so many levels. So you're forcing people to self-help themselves, but then you don't provide any outlets. It's like saying, hey, don't have babies underage, teen pregnancy, blah, 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 but we're not going to teach you about abstinence or anything like that. It's super stupid. Like, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to cover or touch on any of this during the Hulk Hogan bio?
Yeah, maybe.
It'd be nice.
It would be
possible.
nice because there's like it was worse back then. It was way worse because nobody was like looking at it that way, and the internet didn't exist for stuff to get out like that.
Yeah, so. And it's been like fairly recent years that these wrestlers are getting up into age where they are dying. More frequently.
Pretty much a lot of the big names from the 80s are gone. Like
and died fairly recently, like within the last year or so.
Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, Miss Elizabeth. Andre the Giant, he died a long time ago. Jake the Snake Roberts. Lex.
Is he dead? I thought
he
was still alive.
No, he died.
Oh, wow.
He was in, they talked about him in the episode.
Oh, okay.
And what's the one who came back? Why can't I not? Razzie something. So he retired and then had to come back at the age of like 59 or something, and he said, hey, let's be real, I'm not going to live to see my pension at 69, and he died at the age of 61.
Yeah.
It was a really big deal. So, I mean, he died.
Yeah. And Hogan is, like, coming back, too, I want to say, to wrestle. I mean, he's pretty up there.
They have him coming back and, like, just kind of like, oh, hey, he's here type of things. But just, like, very little, because after everything that happened with him a few years ago with all, like, the racist comments and everything, they're like,
and sex tapes.
Like you exist, but you exist over there. But now it's like, okay, you can come look in the window, but you still exist right there.
Yeah.
So,
and you always see like people who have like decidedly left wrestling, like Dwayne Johnson, John Cena, Dave Bautista, like are coming back into this world. Like they just keep coming back.
Well, they are luckily making it an entertainment, outside of their
so they don't
WWE.
Have to, unless they're like under contract or something. I don't know.
They're not under contract. They just kind of WWE like needs an extra like star power or extra draw.
And after what is the guy that they were like trying to introduce as like the new Rock in a sense, and everyone hates him?
Roman Reigns.
Yes, and it's like they will literally for an 8 minutes straight will boo him.
Yeah,
it's insane.
Wow.
So I mean, they've tried to like revamp it. So I'm sure to keep WWE alive, they're like, hey, come on back for just a little bit, They
got Ronda Rousey and the female wrestlers now.
And so John Oliver mentions, he's like, hey, they listen to their fans. So you as the fans need to speak up about this, because when it comes to Ronda Rousey, the fans were like, hey, give Give Divas a Chance was like a hashtag movement, and the next week they had WrestleMania, or was it WrestleMania or SmackDown or something that was a women's, it was a diva feature at the beginning.
Yeah.
So, and it was Ronda Rousey.
Yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
So,
that's all I have to say about that. Just talk about things that are terrible in the world.
Yeah. So number 3 is Nipsey Hussle was, for all intents and purposes, assassinated this past week. Did you hit something?
Yeah, I like bumped my finger right on the crease.
To be honest, I wasn't familiar, and I'm still not that familiar with who Nipsey Hussle was. But I'm getting, like, from everything I'm seeing, I'm almost getting like the same vibe as like Tupac, where he died and it was this big media thing. And but I'm constantly getting updates in my feed and in my emails about what the LAPD is doing to catch the guy that shot him down out in front of his store. He was one of those guys that had really turned his life around and was working to give others the same opportunity, from what I understand.
Yeah. He was really big in the community, really big in, like, wanting for black people to excel and stop trying to tear each other down. And, like you said earlier, you didn't say it earlier here, but before this, Dylan had said that he had a meeting with the LAPD for, to see how they can help stop gang violence in their communities and everything. And then he just ended up getting cut short because no one wants to see anyone succeed.
And to the LAPD's credit, they're going to continue on with that meeting in his legacy.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
So the documentary that he was working on with okay, I'm going to start over. So the documentary Dear Jesus, help me. So the documentary that Nipsey Hussle was working on about the doctor who was researching AIDS and had some different, hands in the pie with that research. He was doing a documentary about that doctor. Nick Cannon is going to take up that legacy and continue on with that documentary. So to me, the message is, just around this that we can kind of platform off of is that you're not going to hold us down, whatever you're trying to do, whoever is trying to stop the media or whatever from people, you stop people from knowing is not going to happen. Somebody else is going to take up that lamp, and just keep on going. So you're not going to stop it.
If you haven't heard, there's a big conspiracy thing where there was somebody that was working on a information about this doctor. They died mysteriously. The doctor himself died mysteriously. And Nipsey Hussle is working on this documentary based on the doctor's research and about his life, and now he's been knocked off mysteriously. So
Dr. Sebi, it's Sebi. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that's the doctor that the documentary is about, and his work with trying to cure AIDS and find
alternatives.
Yeah. That's what I was looking for. And so that's what the documentary is about. Sorry, I'm struggling.
I'm sorry. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. You're obviously a great example of how to pull yourself up and we always hear, pull yourself up by your bootstraps, and a lot of people don't have opportunities, and some people create opportunities, and of course you can get into the politics of all that, but he was somebody that did it, from what I understand. Everything I've seen, I've not seen one negative comment about him.
Yeah.
And he was somebody that was doing it for himself, and not only doing it for himself, but really trying to pave the way for other people to have the same opportunities, and that is so respectable.
Yeah.
So it's hard, it's sad to see a good man go.
Yeah.
Especially under those type of conditions.
Especially, I was just about to say, especially someone who got the world talking about something,
Yeah.
All right.
And regrettably, we do have to move on. So, number 4, there's some updates about the DCEU that we can get into. Of course, last episode we talked about Zack Snyder and his iffy comments about, to fans about Batman killing and his issue with that and all that kind of stuff. But in all that tirade, there did come some information that there is a Snyder cut for Justice League.
There is, and it's dumb long.
It's 3 hours. But, we're looking at Avengers Endgame, 3 hours.
3.5 hours is what I saw.
3.5? Wow.
3.5 hours.
So it's like an epic.
Yeah. And there was another thing I saw in a little article I read. It said that we only saw about 40% of what the actual movie was supposed to be.
Wow. And a lot of people are excited about that just because they're on the Snyder train and we never got our due and all this kind of stuff. But I'm a Snyder fan. I wasn't a fan of what he did in the DCEU necessarily, but everybody's like, if he was able to finish his vision, the DCEU would be kicking Marvel's butt right now. To me, that's to me that's just fanboy talk,
Yeah.
But because obviously Batman Superman didn't work, and he was still very much in charge of that.
Yeah.
And even Superman Returns, I was let down by that.
Superman shouldn't have died. There's a lot. That's a lot of emotions go into it.
Yeah. I got on the soapbox about it last week, but my thing is if you she just marked the timer. If you want to tell a story, there are venues to tell alternative stories about heroes that we know, but you can't take the shell of something and turn it into something else just because you want to advance your own agenda and wear the skin of something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you got to stay true to the essence of who that character is, which is why the Marvel universe has done so well, even though they've made changes too.
Super many changes.
Yeah.
But with Batman, though, like, there have been so many different versions of Batman that it's hard not, and they all, for one reason or another, they kind of are consistent, even though, you know, they're different actors in different times, but they seem to be consistent minus Adam West. But
hashtag best Batman ever.
Yeah. But
I'm still about you, Michael Keaton. Don't worry, baby. I got you.
He couldn't move his neck.
He doesn't have a neck.
Oh no, his was Michael Keaton. Yeah. I was about to say Adam West was fabric. He could move all over the place.
No, we're talking about Michael Keaton. He's got a tiny neck anyway.
Why do I need to move it? It's not that big. I just do this all the time. But
Shazam.
Also with the Snyder Cut, I'm excited for the Snyder Cut because I would like to see the character development for these characters that weren't introduced beforehand, and not see a one shot of Superman that's just doing one-liners. You know,
that was so cheesy.
Yeah,
but like
overcorrected so much.
Yeah. Like there was one scene where Barry saves Iris. It was a deleted scene that came with like the deluxe edition or whatever, the Blu-ray copies. Then
Iris is his mother, right?
His wife.
No, his wife.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm out of the loop on that.
It's okay. It happens.
I'm familiar with the Flashpoint. That's why I was thinking that was part of it, but maybe.
Oh no, Flashpoint goes back and saves his mom, whose name is Dawn.
Okay.
So,
I know they were supposed to be working towards that.
Nora.
Which,
I had Quin. Yeah.
But go ahead.
You go ahead.
I'm utterly lost right now. Who are y'all talking about?
We're talking about the Flash.
The Flash.
Thank you.
So that also leads into some news about the Flash movie going forward. Apparently, they're obviously getting away from the dark Snyderverse. And the Snyderverse, outside of the Snyder Cut and the fan excitement about that, the Snyderverse is officially dead.
Yeah.
And you know, it even looked like Aquaman was still like half Snyderverse, half moving forward.
It was definitely moving forward. It was so vibrant and just alive.
Yeah.
The whole time.
But Ezra Miller, who played the Flash in Justice League, was still it seems like he was still on board with Snyder's vision, and they put forth a brighter, lighter version of the script, and he was not happy with it. And so word was out that he was working with another writer to try to convince them to stay on course. And word is now that he is out. Ezra Miller is out. But Flash, they'll be recasting and moving forward.
Totally fine. Completely fine.
I like Ezra Miller.
I don't
Ezra think he's
Miller
good
too.
Flash. He's a whole different type of. His brand is way off for Flash.
Yeah, like he would have been fine if they cast him as any other version of Flash besides Barry Allen, because Barry Allen is, for the most part, Barry Allen's just a straight up like adult. This Ezra Miller's Flash seemed like he was more Wally West. Seemed like more of a teenager. He was living in a warehouse like he was some sort of weird hipster. And, like...
I don't have any friends.
Yeah.
He's funny, but...
Yeah. He just... And Barry Allen has a job. Alright? He has a job. I didn't know what the heck Ezra Miller was doing.
He's like an amalgamation of Flashes or something.
Yeah. Which was gross. So... And Flash, his movie needs to be bright besides... Flashpoint, because Flashpoint needs to show like, oh, my mom needed to die so that the world doesn't be like this. But so yeah,
I would love to see the Flashpoint in the Snyderverse because I want to see Jeffrey Dean Morgan as Batman.
Yeah, and it would have been a good way to like reset everything too, which they can still do with Flashpoints.
Yeah, and with the good thing about DC is they're known for going off on these tangents and doing this kind of thing. So that's kind of like their brand.
Yeah.
So they could still have this split DCEU type thing and go in all these different directions.
Then Crisis on Infinite Earths.
Yeah. And I mean that would still be their thing, you know, which would be fine. Everybody could be happy. They can make everybody happy because they're DC and that's their brand. That's what they do with the comics. It would make sense in their movie universe too.
Yep.
What's Martian Manhunter movie running?
So there are rumors that we're getting a Martian Manhunter movie and a Hawkman movie that they're in the pipeline.
Is Hawkman from... Don't say it. Don't you dare say it. The Massachusetts guy.
What?
Manhattan. Watchmen. Is that
No.
Isn't that Hawkman?
You're thinking of the owl.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what's Hawkman?
Hawkman is from Justice League, like OG Justice League. The Justice League cartoon had Hawkgirl, like they're from the same.
Oh, I know Hawkgirl.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I guess everybody who comes from that place is going to have that title, that moniker, on Earth or whatever.
That's just the moniker they gave themselves. From Themyscira, you mean? Not Themyscira.
The planet or whatever.
Yeah. It's escaping me right now.
But apparently they're casting a Muslim as Hawkman.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know too much about the history of that character.
They're doing that OG, I'm a reincarnation of somebody from Egypt type of thing. Awesome. Okay. That's cool. Well, not really OG. It's more like modern day stuff. No, so the way that one of the stories for Hawkman and Hawkgirl in the stories, they came from Thanagar. There we go. They came from Thanagar a very long time ago. They met the Egyptians and became their gods. Like Hawkman was like, Ra. She was another bird face. Yeah. Head.
And he literally said bird face.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I had to say that loud to process it.
And they end up falling in love and everything. But one of their priests, he ended up also being in love with Hawkgirl. But he was like, if I can't have you, nobody can. So he killed them. But like it ended up accidentally causing a curse to happen. Not accidentally. He cursed them as well, to where now they like constantly like reincarnate. And every time one of them has all memories, the other one doesn't. And by the time they both realize everything, the other one's gonna die.
That sounds a lot like John Hancock.
I was literally waiting for you to stop talking so I could say that.
So
I almost said I Am Legend though. My bad. Yeah, it really does sound like a lot like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Wow. I wonder if they got that idea from that.
Probably.
Somebody
read that comic was like, I'm gonna do my own thing.
They're supposed to be doing John Hancock too, but I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say about Hawkman or Martian Manhunter?
Martian, I don't know how I feel about that.
What's that?
Martian, you know who? Okay, so Martian,
he's the green guy.
Yeah, he's the green guy. Martian Man. No, not Little Green.
He's got like a blue cape and
I'm gonna just look
this
at my
red X.
Okay.
Fabric across his chest.
He's the last son of Mars, just kind of like how Superman's the last son of Krypton.
Yeah, they're shapeshifters.
They're shapeshifters, telepaths. Their weakness is fire, because sure, why not? And and he is one of the most powerful members of the Justice League. But he's pretty cool. I just don't.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I would love to see somebody like Idris Elba play him.
Idris Elba's gonna be Deadshot.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. We have other black people. No, okay.
Well,
so
yeah. I'm just thinking like that presence. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I like
called out.
It's not your fault. Like literally,
you're right.
Every time like the Martians are shown, for whatever reason, they all have African accents.
You're right.
And
it's always some deep voice.
Yeah. And then like in Supergirl, the TV show on the CW, when she went to Mars and found out there was like a sect of Martians that were like fighting against the white Martians that inhabit the planet. They all turned into black people, and I'm like, why? What are y'all trying to say? And do I have shape-shifting powers? So
maybe you could play it.
Sure.
You could at least.
So I googled actors to play Martian Manhunter, and there's the top 5, which is Peter Mensah, who played the guy in Spartacus.
Oh yeah.
And then there's Vin Diesel.
Because he's got that big square face.
Idris Elba, Billy Crudup,
Billy Crudup, Dr. Manhattan.
Oh.
And Doug Jones, who, if you don't know, he played the water thing on.
He's always playing creatures in Guillermo del Toro's movies.
What was that Waterman thing?
Oh, Shape of Water.
Yeah, that movie.
The Merman.
Yeah. So.
Quick question. In Shape of Water, was that merman the same merman from Hellboy? Like the original one?
Yeah.
It was.
Oh, it's not exactly. It's not the same character. It's the same actor, though.
Okay. Because I was about to say, why did he get his own movie?
No, it was technically his fascination with the creature from the Black Lagoon being a child, and you see that character.
Okay.
That's cool. Get a love story. But I could see like in his original form, like Doug Jones is the long slender with the triangle head type deal. I could see that. Yeah. But not in his human form like that.
No.
He doesn't have the right build for that.
Because he's still kind of like stout with it. Yeah. And always wears a trench coat or whatever.
Trench coats are cool.
Yeah.
It's like a bad guy's cape.
That's how you hide. You put on a trench coat. So another thing with the DCEU update is that there's a big fan theory that Ben Affleck is going to come back for Justice League 2. I don't know if there's any validity to it, or if it's just fans wanting this.
I've seen it a lot too.
Yeah.
What I think about is like, okay.
Yeah, because like I follow a bunch of like comicbook.com and stuff on Twitter. And they always repost the same stuff over and over, you know. And they'll take something that's really obscure and make it a headline. So.
Yeah. But we'll see if he decides to come back for Justice League, or he just is like, no, I'm okay. Thanks, guys.
At least keep Henry Cavill. Perfect Superman.
But talking about things that we're going to see, in-game tickets are on sale.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
My bad. I'm just excited. Go ahead.
And so many what is it called?
The pre-orders.
Pre-order tickets were bought that it crashed the site.
Yeah.
All ticket sites.
They crashed
in like an hour.
They broke the internet. And more pre-sale than any other movie in history in the first hour. Like just broke all the sites. Like, it's insane.
Congrats, bro.
And with the announcement of the pre-sale, they dropped a new teaser.
The final.
Which they already said that, we're not releasing anything else. But voila, you know.
They did, yep. And that one had
a lot of stuff.
It had that fight. It had the fight I thought they were going to have in the first movie, which is the fight they had in the comics, which is the fight they had in all the animated shows and everything else. And it's Thanos in his armor with this thing on an asteroid. Like, let's go.
Okay, I was wondering, like, because they showed the ship flying into, I think it was Tokyo or somewhere like that. You have the Rainbow Bridge thing. But then they show like all this destruction around them, and it looks like it looks like human construction, like torn down, all around them. So I didn't know if they were in that city or I don't know where they're at.
They might be in the city. It might be like, he came back to Earth and just took a good chunk of ground, and now we're in the air. Like there's so many things, but like there's a lot of things like you can look up. Really, like Captain America, Thanos 101, and you're always going to see like...
I wonder if that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Because everything is supposedly in the first 20 minutes, 15-20 minutes.
God.
So, like, if this big throwdown with Thanos is happening that early in the film, that really does give credence to the thing going, rumor or theory. Of course, nothing's confirmed because, by the official people, but that he's awakened a bigger threat and that there's something beyond him that they're going to have to deal with on the heels of that. And originally they were going to put the snap in this film, but they decided to end it there instead. So I honestly haven't read Infinity Gauntlet.
It's so after he does a snap, because he does a snap like 15 pages in, and it's even before the halfway point. After that happens, Adam Warlock wakes back up. He comes in. They all like, oh snap! Adam Warlock, Gamora, and I forget the little dwarf's name. They end up
supposedly, the guy that played the dwarf, I can't, from Game of Thrones, I can't think of his name right now.
You mean I know Tyrion?
Yeah.
But oh no, I can't remember his name.
I know, right?
Peter Galish? No.
Peter Galish? No, who plays Tyrion?
Peter Dinklage.
I knew it was a Peter or something.
Yes.
So Peter Dinklage, who played the dwarf that made Stormbreaker, was signed on for 2 films. So he's supposed to be coming back for this one.
Yeah. Okay. Make somebody summon Infinity Armor.
Yeah.
But yeah, Captain America, Thanos, walk across the asteroid, fight. Adam Warlock's like, no, you don't need to fight. And then they convince Thanos to reverse it. He reverses the snap. He hands over the gauntlet and becomes a farmer. And that's how Infinity Gauntlet ends.
Wow. So, Adam Warlock, if you've seen Guardians of the Galaxy 2, the end credits scene, the perfect golden people, they're creating a new, more perfect being that she gives. Yeah. She says she's going to call him Adam. And it's in a cocoon, and that is Adam Warlock. So he's in the MCU, but we might not necessarily see him in the storyline.
No. They said they weren't because they don't want to end it the same way that the comic ended, which I understand because there's a lot of ways you can end it. Like they could end up going back in time for some reason, causing Thanos to come before and have a triple threat showdown between them, Ultron, and Thanos. They could do so much, but
I'm really curious how this alternate timelines and parallel universes stuff is going to fit in with what they're showing with the battle of that. So that close to the beginning.
It'd be really cool though if they go into an alternate timeline and Killmonger won, and he's like, "Sure, I'll help you."
Kill who?
Killmonger.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, just to have him back.
Just to have him back. Yeah. And then he just comes back and it's like, oh, T'Challa's still alive in this universe? I'm going to kill him too. And now we got Killmonger back. But that's just me, because he was probably the coolest villain. Next to...
Oh, okay. It took me all that time to figure out who in the world I was talking about.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hear you.
But yeah.
So, yeah. The Russos have shot down the Ant-Man up the ass theory. So...
Although,
Josh Brolin?
Yeah, posted a really funny video about it.
Where he's sitting on the toilet and trying to crap out Ant-Man.
Yeah, Josh Brolin is a weirdo on social media, and it just full butt. You literally see him sitting on a toilet.
It's funny because he goes from prolific writer about something really deep, and then the next post is about him and his wife wearing onesies or something.
Yeah, and I feel like who's the guy that plays Hopper?
Dennis.
What his name is not Dennis.
No, it's not.
Whatever.
He's good playing Hellboy.
Yeah, he.
Oh crap!
That's Dennis Hopper. That's why
it's not his name.
That's not a thing.
Anyway, he is a weirdo on social media too.
Yeah. Remember the Tide commercials, them dancing and stuff.
I had it in my head and you started talking. Dadgummit.
Yeah, Hopper from Stranger Things.
I'm looking it up.
He's going to play Hellboy. David Harbour.
Oh,
yes. He's a super weirdo on Instagram too. So I would suggest for just kicks and giggles to follow both of them on Instagram. They're funny.
Yeah. Oh, one thing I did want to mention about the new teaser is that we get the moment when Cap has just shaved his beard. Because I went through like each frame or whatever, and he's got the trimmer on the sink next to him, and he's like looking in the mirror, you know. So he's just shaved his beard off, and that's pretty cool.
We also see Pepper and
the reunion between Pepper and
Iron Man.
And Tony's looking pretty rough.
Yeah.
So and it looks like it's in that field where we got the shot before, where it's like something white with lights is coming down to them. So that looks like his arrival. Mm-hmm. And maybe the person that was cut out
was Pepper.
Was Pepper and not Captain Marvel, like people are thinking.
Yeah. Because there was like an odd gap between Black Widow and Cap. Yeah. And so people were assuming that it was the
other Cap.
I'm just done.
Carol? We're just going to call her Carol until Captain America dies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chris Evans said he cried like 3 times filming this movie.
Jeez.
He's Captain America in real life, and I'm so down with it.
Yeah.
All right.
And he also teased that his funeral lasts half the movie. Yeah. Which, you can't say that. You can't spoil that. Plus that reminds me of the best April Fool's Day pranks. Mark Ruffalo on Twitter posted one of those never finished loading gifs, and he was like, "You asked for it. Here's the spoiler."
You're so cute, Mark Ruffalo.
But
all right,
that's all I got to say.
Super excited. Get your tickets, but not before we do.
I mean, oops. Oh, jeez. Everybody's just touching things. I'm going to do this.
And you guys have any last thoughts?
No.
What about you?
No, I'm good.
I do have a last thought. There was like a little teaser before the Barry premiere or something like that on HBO. So there was like a couple little glimpses of Game of Thrones that we hadn't seen yet, and they showed Jon and Arya meeting again. Oh. So it's kind of cool. So I'm super excited for Game of Thrones, which comes back on 14th. So we've got like a week and a half, like 2 weeks. Super excited, and less than 4 weeks till we get married.
Yay! Congratulations.
In game. April's going to be a busy month.
It is.
So, we'd like to say thanks for joining us by YouTube or podcast. If you want to keep the conversation going, you can comment below, or you can look up all that information on how you can support the show or keep the conversation going. Find us on social media. You find all of that in the episode notes or at the website at www.broken.picturesno.com. And don't forget, you can send us a message through our podcast provider, Anchor. You can download the app or go to our show's website, which is www.anchor.fm/The FOMO Show. And YouTube viewers, if you would, subscribe to the show, and if you tag the little bell, ding. It's such a poor little bell. You'll get notifications anytime we upload a new video. And if you're on the podcast, please go ahead and leave us 5 stars and a review. We'd appreciate that so very much. So this is Dylan.
And I'm Lydia.
This is Quin.
And we'll see you next time. Peace.
Goodbye.